Political tension ahead of a June 18th Chikube LC5 by-election.
And if Chikube has to develop, we cannot allow an opposition in such an area.
Also tonight, 3 so far confirmed dead in a Chisasi collapse building as KCCA reveals construction had been halted months earlier.
Those who are in hospital, we are going to follow them up.
Rotary Club of Chigo 7 Lakes Golf installs new president. Outgoing President Kin Karisa leaves behind strong transformation legacy.
She can continue building on those projects.
This is NBS Live at 9 with Sheila Dusime.
Welcome once again. Let's get into the stories. 3 people have been confirmed dead following the collapse of a building under construction in Chisasi Zone, Kawempe North, Kampala. The deceased have been identified as Chivumbi James, commonly known as Rasta, and a third person whose identity is not yet known. Survivors attributed the incident to the removal of wooden support beams from the lower section of the building, which they say caused the structure to give way and crash to the ground.
At the scene, rescue efforts continued with excavators and specialized equipment being used to clear the rubble and search for any remaining survivors. Later, another heavy-duty machine arrived at the scene alongside the KCCA Executive Director, Sharif Fawzeki, and Kampala Lord Mayor, Ronald Balimwezo. As the operation intensified, police officers wearing protective gears first recovered 2 bodies from the debris and later another whose identity has not yet been identified. Survivors identified them as Chivumbi, who reportedly worked as a supervisor on the site, and James alias Rasta. Witnesses maintained that the collapse was triggered by the removal of wooden supports that had been holding up the structure. The Director, Engineering and Technical Services at KCCA, Justus Akankwasa, revealed that the authority had halted construction on the building in April this year after discovering that it did not meet the required standards. He expressed concern that the developer allegedly ignored the directive and continued with the construction works.
In technical terms, is what we call a pancake type of failure, whereby a building collapses vertically, a floor after floor until it lands down. And what causes it is that the legs that support the structure, which we call columns, which means they were built in weak material or the design was not okay.
Kawempe Division Mayor Emmanuel Serunjoji criticized KCCA over what he described as centralized control over the approval and enforcement of building standards.
And the appointing authority, who is supposed to appoint a physical planning department director? We don't have one. And that is the person responsible for monitoring, approving and monitoring. Once a building or a construction is approved, that person is supposed to assign someone to monitor and to inspect. But there is no one. The one who is acting, his time is over. He has overlived his time.
KCCA officials have vowed that all individuals found responsible for violating building regulations will face legal action.
But there must be someone responsible, and we should make sure that we carry out investigations, thorough investigations, to try those that are responsible.
We will trace the families and also condole with them and give some meager assistance for the burial. Those who are in hospital, we are going to follow them up and also follow up with their families.
Meanwhile, police have stepped up investigations to establish the exact cause of the collapse and search for the building engineer.
The bodies have been taken to Mulago Hospital mortuary pending post-mortem. Inquiries are still ongoing to establish the cause of the building collapse.
According to survivors, 12 people were inside the building at the time of the collapse. 9 of the workers managed to escape, while 3 were trapped and later confirmed dead.
The power struggles in the Democratic Party continue to deepen, with the party's youth pressure group DP at heart calling for the immediate ejection of Norbert Mao administration over alleged corruption. The group has petitioned both the Inspectorate of Government and the Electoral Commission to investigate what they describe as fraud and misappropriation of more than 4 billion shillings. The youth claim the money in question is part of the consolidated funds the party receives from the government proceeds for the sale of the party's printing press and expenditures made during the recently concluded delegates conference.
Uganda's oldest political party, the Democratic Party, is facing fresh internal turmoil after its youth wing, under the pressure group DP at Heart, took a bold step on June 4th, 2026 to petition Electoral Commission and the Inspectorate of Government. The angry youths, who were previously seen working closely with the party President General Norbert Mao during the early days of the cooperation agreement, now accused the leadership they once supported of misappropriating over 4 billion shillings. They alleged that the funds were drawn from consolidated government support to political parties, the sale of party printing press, collection and expenditures from the recently concluded delegates conference. The group claims the funds have never been properly accounted for.
During the recent National Delegates Conference held in Mbarara, millions of shillings of the party and public funds were misappropriated. Delegates were deliberately starved, denied meals and accommodation for 3 days, while huge sums allocated to their welfare remain unaccounted for.
The iPod money that was in 2022, Democratic Party received to a tune of over 430 plus millions. Where did that money go? And in the recent election year, we did receive money. Where did that money go?
Another youth leader, Julius Doma from Rubaga, also raised concerns about party assets.
We have the printing press. We have said it is about 250, 300 million. Where did it go? We have party properties like land titles. Where are they? They are not seen in the party auditors' reports.
We are coming back as a test to the IGG that since we are now fighting corruption, we are here to bring to you issues related to corruption in the Democratic Party.
The youths have now handed a 3-page summary petition to both the Electoral Commission and the Inspectorate of Government, demanding immediate investigations.
We are telling the IGG, you come investigate these leaders. We are telling the Electoral Commission that do what you're supposed to do, what is mandated of you of the Constitution. If possible, let's engage the CID, because these are criminal matters.
However, the Democratic Party administration under Norbert Mao has dismissed the allegations, describing them as baseless and politically motivated.
Their approach, in my opinion, is not proper. They should write, or they should contact the office of the accounting officer, who is the Secretary General of the party, to get all this information.
In May this year, DP Vice President Fred Mukasambide accused Party President General Norbert Mao of isolating the party through non-consultative decision-making and failing to deliver on the controversial cooperation agreement with the ruling National Resistance Movement.
Moving on, the National Resistance Movement Director for Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, warns that divisions among NRM members in Chikube could cost the party the Chikube District LC5 by-election. This comes after the NRM flag bearer, Philip Barnett Mbabazi, was not nominated on grounds that he did not have academic papers, forcing NRM to hand the flag to Pade Kisembo, who had come second in the NRM primaries but had chosen to run as an independent. The race currently has 2 candidates, Pade Kisembo, NRM, and Fekenansi Timanyire of a National Unity Platform. Now, with Seninde asking NRM supporters in Chikube to back Timanyire.
During the May 25th nomination for the Chikube district by-election, the Electoral Commission rejected the NRM's flag bearer, Philip Mbabazi, over lack of academic papers, leaving NUP's Fekenansi Timanyire and independent candidate Pade Kisembo in the race. This has raised concern among NRM supporters in Chikobe, with many asking why their candidate was rejected, yet he met the party academic qualifications. But while addressing NRM supporters in Chikobe, the party's Director of Mobilization, Rosemary Seninde, explained that the party settled on Pade Kisembo as a flag bearer to avoid going into the by-election without a candidate.
But unfortunately, at the time of nomination, he didn't have the requirements. Now, did the party had to choose between having no candidate or taking another decision?
Electoral Commission, NRM, knew because they had those lead polls. If they had an issue of that, they would probably come back to me and say, well, this also had to be done. But then it's very disappointing.
Seninde is however concerned with the continued divisions among NRM members in the district, warning that it may cost the party in the by-election. Seninde has asked NRM leaders in Chikobe to do whatever it takes to ensure that NRM wins the Chikobe LC5 seat by supporting the independent candidate who is an NRM leaning.
And if Chikobe has to develop, we cannot allow an opposition in such an area where the president is working so hard to ensure that the oil that is going to add income to our economy in Chikobe, in this area, is led by an opposition.
The Chikobe District Resident Commissioner Godwin Angalia says as security they're ready to ensure peaceful exercise.
So we have enough force to manage this by-election. What we call upon to voters just to cooperate with forces so that we can keep peace.
Kisembo says that despite propaganda from the NRM flag bearers camp, he could not let the party go into the election without a candidate. As the second runner-up in the primaries, he accepted the flag to ensure NRM was represented on the ballot.
The NRM party has got its own procedures, and the unfortunate was going to happen for us not to have a candidate because of what I don't want to talk about here. But fortunately, I was available and ready to take up the mantle.
The NUP candidate Fenikans Timanyire is demanding for a leveled ground.
Most of the villages in Chikobe district, they don't have good drinking water. And that one is a subject to diseases.
However, Philip Mbabazi petitioned the Electoral Commission, arguing that the other two candidates in the race, Pade Kisembo, now flying the NRM flag, and Fenikans Timanyire of NUP, do not meet the required qualifications for nomination. The Electoral Commission tribunal sat and is set to deliver a ruling on Wednesday next week.
Served for 2 terms, first as municipal councillor, then city councillor respectively, FDC's Odong Morish begins his 3rd term in the council of Gulu City as a sole opposition member against a 16-member NRM council, meaning he's the only opposition voice in the council for the next 5 years. We speak to him on how he intends to hold the debate.
I, Odong Morris, swear in the name of the Almighty God.
FDC's Odong Morris is his own whip, opposition leader, alternative voice in the Gulu City Council for the next 5 years. On the FDC ticket, is the only opposition councillor in the council.
Being a lone survivor, being a lone striker, being a one-man's army, I think I will be more and more equipped to tackle this multitude of members from the other side, head on, right up from the word go and up to the final whistle. I will commit to doing what people expect me to do.
A loner in a council of 16 members, Odong says is up for the task, defend the interests of the opposition on matters that affect the common person in the city while providing alternative decisions.
I'm not going to push too far contest of egos, but my composure and my commitment will automatically propel me to tackle matters as required by law. That's number one. Number two, the power and concerns of the public will be my agenda number one. And my ultimate due responsibilities is to definitely provide the alternatives.
Speaking about the NRM numbers, Odong says the will of the people must prevail over party affiliations like those in the past.
I don't wish to see a council that will highly be hyped by feelings that this is ours and this is us. But I rather wish to see a council whose ultimate interest and desire is to frontier the will of the people.
Governance and public policy experts have welcomed President Yoweri Museveni's public criticism of government officials who prioritize allowances over service delivery. However, they argue that the time has come for the president to move beyond rhetoric and implement concrete reforms aimed at reducing or even in some cases eliminating the allowance culture that they say has increasingly become a greater incentive for public servants that are serving Ugandans.
In this year's State of the Nation address, President Yoweri Museveni criticized public servants who prioritize securing allowances over fulfilling their responsibilities. The president condemned a culture in which some officials refuse to undertake assignments unless they are guaranteed facilitation payments, while others receive allowances for activities they ultimately fail to carry out. Museveni noted that such behavior stands in sharp contrast to the work ethic of earlier generations of public servants.
Leaders talking of allowances to reach their people and get them out of poverty, I almost get nausea. I feel like vomiting.
Responding to the president's remarks, analysts and civil society actors say the comments come at a critical time amid growing concerns over Uganda's expanding public expenditure. They argue that the statement could signal a willingness by government to tackle wasteful spending and improve efficiency in public administration.
We need to look at who is currently benefiting more at the expense of the others.
Focus has been moved away from serving the public to what benefits these people are getting.
It's just an issue of human resource management.
However, the analysts maintain that meaningful reform will require more than public criticism. They have urged President Museveni to implement practical measures to reduce excessive government expenditure, beginning with the presidency itself. Among the proposals advanced are reducing the size of the cabinet, trimming the number of resident district commissioners, and reviewing other government appointments that significantly contribute to recurrent expenditure.
Because if you're looking at a motorcycle, you're comparing a parish chief who's just going to use a motorcycle, which takes probably 1 liter, and he moves the whole parish. But someone has a minister, let me take it down to a minister. A minister has a convoy of about 5 cars.
We have a bloated government. We have so many members of parliament.
Let us start from the bigger beneficiaries.
At the same time, the analysts caution against treating all allowances as unnecessary.
In terms of service delivery, it is not about not to deliver because even you're benefiting from the allowances. It is how have you structured service provision? Who is reporting to who?
In Rwanda, what the president has done, they have introduced annual performance contracts. At the start of a year, you agree with your boss. This is what you are going to do. Okay, so from the start of the year, you know, by end of the year, I should have achieved this. These are the results. And then there are quarterly reviews. You don't wait for the year to end, then you review.
Uganda's national budget has continued to expand and now exceeds 70 trillion shillings. However, a significant share of these resources is consumed by recurrent expenditures, including salaries, administrative costs, and debt servicing. This leaves limited fiscal space for development programs and frequently compels government to rely on borrowing to bridge funding gaps.
Now, according to the Ministry of Health, Uganda has confirmed 19 Ebola cases, so far 14 imported from the DRC and 5 locally transmitted. 4 patients have been discharged, 13 remain hospitalized, and 2 imported cases have died. Now, joining us from Budo is the Commissioner for Health Promotion, Dr. Richard Kabanda, to discuss current efforts to prevent the imported cases. Thank you very much, Dr. Kabanda, for joining us. We would like to know what measures have been put in place to stop any further cases from getting into the country.
Thank you, Sheila, for hosting me. As you have already said, as of today, we have not had any other new case. most of the cases, as you have read, most of the cases are for non-Ugandans. We only have 5 Ugandans. The 14 out of 19 cases are for Congolese. And it is basically because these Congolese had come to Uganda to seek treatment. And the first point of contact was health facilities. So that way, by that time when they got to Uganda, the system had not yet detected that there is an Ebola outbreak in DRC. And it was also difficult for us here, especially for our health workers at that point in time, to be able to detect that these are Ebola patients, because the signs and symptoms usually at the onset present similar to other conditions that we have in the country, like malaria. So most of our health workers who were in close contact ended up being affected. So what we are doing currently is to ensure that we strengthen cross-border surveillance. Our surveillance systems at the border have been now tightened. We have deployed security across that entire stretch from Koboko up to Kisoro. We have also made sure that we have more testing centers in the country. Apart from Kampala, we have others in Pondwe, we also have in Arua. So that way it becomes very easy for our people to easily get tested. We are also trying to strengthen the cross-border surveillance, but we also currently, if you have been very keen on how the spread of Ebola has been, that cases or individuals are coming from DRC to this side. And basically, it's because DRC, the eastern part of DRC doesn't have enough capacity in terms of testing capacity for individuals who are suspected to be having Ebola. And of course also ability to be able to do contact listing, tracing, and ensuring that they quarantine individuals. So when you have weak systems, what that indicates is that you'll end up actually getting more people coming to Uganda, because Uganda is known to be having capacity. Within our region, we don't have any other country that matches our ability in terms of technical expertise, skills and experience in fighting Ebola. So we are trying to do whatever it takes to ensure that we minimize the number of people who come to the country.
Dr. Kawanda, you talked about systems that have been put in place at the border points, the surveillance systems. How effective have they been in detecting these cases?
Maybe to give you a brief background, this is our 9th time when we are dealing with Ebola as a country. And we have built the capacity in the country first in terms of human resource development. We have built the capacity of our human resource right from national level up to the grassroots. So up to the where we have the community health workers. So we have ability to be able to run when you have an outbreak. So that has been our biggest strength. We have also been able to export actually human resource to go and build the capacity capacity of other human resources in other countries. So the other very critical component which we are proud of is our surveillance system, the mortality surveillance system. That is one reason why actually we were able to detect the very first patient who came to Uganda. So that first death that we had, it was as a result of our mortality surveillance system. And our ability to screen and test in time is one of our biggest strengths. And the other biggest strength that we have, which we are proud of, which other countries may not actually be able to have, is our ability to take decisions early. You announce early, you take preventive measures early, like the measures we have taken currently in the country, closing borders for every Tom and Dick who may be interested coming to Uganda. But of course also one the other big component which we think that will also be able to help us is to be able to support DRC in early testing, screening, but of course also in provision of care.
We conclude, what challenges are you facing as a ministry in controlling the cross-border cases?
One of the biggest challenges, of course, when you look at our countries on the map, you may think that it is easy to tell that this is one country and the other is, say Uganda is here, DRC is the other. So it becomes very difficult because we are sharing in terms of culture, norms and practices between the western part of Uganda and the eastern part of DRC, these are the same people. So literally, people who are in the eastern part of DRC have been used to coming to Uganda for trade, for education, and for healthcare. So it is actually challenging minimizing the number of people who may be crossing over. And when you build a system as a country, like Uganda have built our health system to be able to detect and be able to respond to outbreaks, if your neighbor doesn't have or doesn't match the capacity that you have, it becomes difficult actually for them to have a supportive system that can enable them to be able to detect and handle. So it is one reason why we are putting much of our efforts in the western part of the country. And of course, in all our ports of entry to ensure that we limit on the people who are coming to Uganda from DRC. But of course, the other biggest challenge, I would say, Ugandans have been fatigued with outbreaks because we have had quite a number of outbreaks. And that way they may not be able to understand our technical point of view. I think it's better for Ugandans to rally behind us. It is very, very difficult for a country to get Ebola and you don't announce that you have a case. So we follow international health regulations. So locally here back home, people need to appreciate that for us to be able to keep the country and all Ugandans safe, we need to go preventive. So the preventive measures that we have instituted in the country should be embraced by all Ugandans.
Very much, Dr. Kabanda there from the Ministry of Health, trying to give us an update on the Ebola cases so far and how government is handling that. Let's see what will be coming up later on in the bulletin.
More to come.
When we come back, we'll be looking at the Rotary Club of Chigo 7 Lakes Golf that has installed its fourth president. That story will be coming up later on. Right now, Live at 9 takes a short break and we'll be back after.
In 30 seconds, I'll tell you why you have until the 30th of June 2026. First, the 30th of June is your deadline to file your tax returns for the financial year ending 2025-2026. Don't wait. Late filing means errors and errors mean penalties. Second, if you have an outstanding tax, pay your principal by the 30th of June 2026 and URA will give you a 100% tax waiver. No interest, no penalties, gone. File and pay now at www.ura.go.ug.
Developing Uganda together.
You will always know when you're in the presence of the finest. It's like time slows down, just enough for you to feel everything in full flavor.
Just Kamut Lager. Alcohol is not for certain persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Today we are in Makerere College School and we've got our winner, and that is none other than Michelle. I am sure you've already gotten the school fees and the excitement is already there. Thank you so much.
Bituufu, jebiri. Michelle has won school fees for a year. Never Zaba Momo. 3 times paid, cleared.
You can also stand a chance to win. You simply have to dial *165 *80 hash or use the Momo app. Schools that accept students to pay school fees using Momo also stand a chance to win a van. Pay your school fees. You never know. You could be the lucky winner.
Sorry, the number you have called is currently switched off. Please try again later.
The carman is not picking up my calls. He has now switched off his phone. He looked legit, so I paid him 500K to process my NSSF money. How dare you?
Better study tips. Stay ahead of scams with double-check URLs before entering login credentials. Scammers create fake websites that look real, aiming to steal your data. Always verify the web address to stay safe. In partnership with Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
Your business is booming. Then one day you run out of capital. You are struggling in unpaid debts and bills. Bank of Uganda has introduced the small business funds. Are you dealing in saloons, dukas, or any other business? Ask for the SBO for all. It has a low interest rate of 10% with up to 1 year grace period. Contact your bank or SACCO or call our toll-free line on 0800 144 044. This message is brought to you by Bank of Uganda.
June is budget month, a defining moment for Uganda's economy. Under the theme, Full Monetization of Uganda's Economy, the 2026-2026.
Welcome back. In other stories, the Rotary Club of Chigo 7 Lakes Golf has installed its 4th president, Maria Odido, who will lead the club for the year 2026-2027. She succeeds Kin Karisa, who has served as a president since July 2025. Karisa leaves behind a legacy of transformation marked by impactful community initiatives and significant organizational achievements. Among the club's flagship projects during his tenure were the construction of a modern water, sanitation and hygiene facility at Chigo Prisons Primary School and the development of the Mama Karisa maternity ward in Ntungamu.
Rotary Club of Chigo 7 Lakes Golf ushered in a new era of leadership as its 4th president. Maria Odido officially assumed office during a handover ceremony held in Chigo. The event marked the official transition of leadership from outgoing President Kin Karisa, whose tenure has been widely credited with transforming the club through impactful community projects, membership growth, and national recognition. Addressing members and guests, King Karisa challenged Odido and her leadership to build on the strong foundation that has been laid and continue advancing Rotary's guiding principle of service above self.
Done many projects that we've started. She can continue building on those projects and do more in terms of equipping, for example, the maternity ward. The maternity ward has some level of equipment, but we can do more. That's an area where we want to do a global grant project to equip the maternity ward maybe with the modern theater and many other things. We've also started many other things at our signature project, and I believe she can still, with our new board, she can still do more with our signature project to add on what we've built over time. Of course, doing our usual medical camps, we did go to Bulago Island and we started a huge medical camp there. We can still do some more. We still need to do golf fundraiser to mobilize more members to participate in giving. And of course, working more with our Kigali Golf Rotary Club to do more.
In her acceptance speech, Maria Odido praises her predecessor for setting a high standard of leadership and pledged to sustain the club's momentum while exploring new opportunities to deepen its impact in communities.
We have my most important dream as the president of Seven Lakes Chigo is the school project we have, that is prisons, Chigo Prison School. And what we are looking to do is to ensure that we expand the classes. Currently, there are 100 students per class. We intend to bring it down to 50 per class. Currently, the school has no purified water. They don't have clean water from which the kids can drink. And we all know, as they say, water is life. And so having little kids go to school and they don't have water to drink is an abomination.
We've laid a very, very good foundation for Maria to build on. We've increased our membership from 67 to 81 members.
The outgoing Rotary was considered a major success on the organizational front, with the club earning recognition as the Club of the Year under Karisa's stewardship. Several Rotary leaders describe Karisa as a leader who remained committed to the broader Rotary mission rather than focusing solely on the interests of this club.
First of all, recognize, like previous speakers, Action President Karisa. And I want to recognize you in 3 ways. There could be 4, there could be 10. Number 1, for being true to your vocation or classification. The second part of the object of Rotary requires us to dignify the worthiness of each member's occupation as an opportunity for service. You have been so true to that during your year of service. Secondly, when people get leadership in Rotary at club level, they use it to lift themselves. They use Rotary to lift them. But you all agree here today that Karisa has lifted Rotary.
Feedback brought to you by.
They are designed to support your growth. Visit absa.co.ug for personal loans that help where it matters. Absa, your story matters.
Let's get into the feedback for tonight. We start with a question for tonight and we'll be looking at your opinions after that. The question is, with a new political term underway, how can political parties effectively manage and resolve internal divisions to maintain unity and strength? The hashtag is NBS Live at 9. Let's take a look at your feedback. We'll start with Mbiri Godfrey, who says they should put in place conflict resolution committees to oversee any arising disputes among party members. This can help to give a fair hearing to all dissatisfied party members. Then Cosmas Taire says, to maintain unity and strength at the start of a new political term, political parties must transition from competitive campaign modes to structured internal governance by implementing inclusive power sharing and fair ideological framework. Moving on to the social space to see what our leaders are saying. Amina J. Mohammed, working together, the UN and member states have shown that the development system has moved from the promise of reform to delivering results with a greater clarity on the road ahead. The opportunity in front of us is remarkable. It's ours to take. Winnie Byanyima, exceptions are not working. WTO waivers are not working. Voluntary measures are not working. This system of the last 40 years is not working for people's health. This time of crisis is a time for reinvention. We need to change the rules themselves. The South must lead. Antonio Guterres says, amid shrinking development financing and growing global pressures, the UN has helped strengthen food security, expand access to electricity, and extend essential health services for millions of people. We need to strengthen a multilateralism that delivers results people can see and feel. Now, Love at Night takes another short break, and we'll be back with more stories, including business and sport.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mumutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, erendongo yakusabula. We gonna do free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
Looking for a vacation of a lifetime? Cross the equator and discover Pineapple Bay Resort. Enjoy exceptional life's luxuries. Spend quality time with family, friends, or even that special someone. Get in touch with nature with our range of outdoor activities. The calming tranquility of water, breathtaking views, moving memories around campfires. It's all here. Plus, a club experience like no other at Pineapple Bay Clubhouse. It's a whole vibe, like on a luxury yacht for 12 people. Our premium boats are all safety compliant. Make your next vacay an all-round experience at Pineapple Bay, located on Bolago Island, right in the midst of Lake Victoria. Talk to us today.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched, fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800 211 033 to get started.
Today we are in Makerere College School, and we've got our winner, and that is none other than Michelle. I am sure you've already gotten the school fees, and the excitement is already there. Thank you so much.
Bitufu JBD. Michelle has won school fees for a year. Never za aba momo. 3 times paid, cleared.
You can also stand a chance to win. You simply have to dial *165 *80 hash or use the Momo app. Schools that accept students to pay school fees using Momo also stand a chance to win a van. Pay your school fees. You never know. You could be the lucky winner.
Start something new, something uplifting, something so effortless and golden. A thirst-quenching burst of sweetness and multi-flavor, so rich and full of memories. It's 100% taste, 0 alcohol. Try it, savor it, feel it elevate every moment. Sip after sip, gulp after gulp. After all, life's about turning ordinary thrills into golden chills.
Start something malty with the new Evervest Malt Apple and Pineapple. Try the burst of sweetness and malty flavor. It's 100% taste, 0 alcohol. Available in a shop or supermarket near you. Evervest Malt. Make every moment golden. Evervest Malt is from the makers of PepsiCo.
Saint Adolphe Ludigo Mukasa was a Munyoro born at Musazi in Mwenge, a county of Toro, but was given to Kabaka Mutesa I as a page. He was in charge of the Kabaka's gardens where pages worked. He got into contact with the missionaries at Kasubi and was baptized on the 16th of November 1885 by Father Simeon Laudel Mapera. He was burnt alive on the 3rd of June 1886 in Namugongo at the age of 25. Saint Adolphe Ludigo Mukasa is the patron of farmers and herdsmen.
Brought to you by
Welcome back. Now, deep in the northeastern waters of Lake Victoria lies Dolwe Island, one of Uganda's least explored tourism treasures. Located in Namaingo district, the rocky island is home to ancient rock art, massive granite formations, balancing rocks, and thriving fishing communities. While tourism investors are beginning to establish facilities on the island, residents say more infrastructure and services are needed to unblock its full potential. Linda Nduwami brings us the story from the heart of Lake Victoria.
Rising dramatically from the waters of Lake Victoria, Dolwe Island, also known as Lolwe Island, is a hidden rocky paradise in Namaingo district. Covering approximately 25 square kilometers, the island is renowned for its giant granite rock formations, unique balancing rocks, rich cultural heritage, and ancient archaeological treasures. For centuries, communities here have lived off the lake, earning the island as the title, the people of the water. Fishing remains the backbone of the local economy, with many homesteads built along the shoreline and small-scale farming providing an additional resource of food.
And the main economic activity here is fishing. There is no way you can separate an islander with water. Whatever they do is alongside the water.
Home to an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 people, Dolwe Island is made up of vibrant fishing communities. The two largest and busiest settlements are Singila in the east and Golofa in the west. The population consists mainly of Ugandans and members of the Jaluo community from neighboring Kenya, creating rich multicultural environment where several languages are spoken.
And then the community is also welcoming. However, they are multilingual here. However, the popular language is Luganda.
Travelers journey from Kampala through Mayuge district to landing sites along Lake Victoria before embarking on a 3 to 4 hour boat ride across the lake. Local communities say the island contains prehistoric rock paintings, engravings and thousands of mysterious ground depressions commonly known as rock gongs, some dating back hundreds or even thousands of years.
Beside the site, we have the rocks that have the caves inside there. There are a number of caves inside in those rocks where also the ancestors, the Tua people used to stay. And also those that first came here are still, they did the very thing that the Alamein used to do.
The dramatic landscape adds the mystery. Massive granite boulders tower above the island, while some balancing rocks appear as though they have been carefully stacked on top of each other, creating natural formations that resemble multi-story buildings. The scenery has earned Dolwe a reputation as one of Uganda's most unique geological wonders. Yet, despite its immense tourism potential, life on the island remains challenging. Residents continue to struggle with limited access to sanitation services, safe drinking water, quality accommodation, and other essential amenities.
Sanitation is a major problem. They have a lot of problems in terms of accommodation. Even if you say that you want to visit an island for whatever reason, you won't have a place to sleep. Unless you're going to sleep in somebody's hut or at a beach, of course, you never know the safety of it.
Wandera is among the investors helping to transform hospitality on the island. According to him, the investment was designed to address long-standing concerns about accommodation, food quality and sanitation standards on the island.
So accommodation was a very big problem.
For years, most visitors to Dolwe camped under the stars, carrying their own food, water and supplies due to the limited facilities available. Today, investors and local leaders say progress is beginning to take shape.
We don't have a lot of noise pollution, we don't have a lot of cars, border borders. It's quiet, peaceful, a perfect space for meditation.
It is a beautiful place. The rocks, spectacular.
As Uganda seeks to diversify its tourism offerings, beyond traditional attractions, stakeholders believe Dolwe Island presents enormous untapped potential.
Police have handed over thousands of kilograms of seized ivory, pangolin scales, rhino horns and other contraband to the Uganda Wildlife Authority. The exhibits, which were confiscated at Entebbe International Airport between 2011 and 2025, were officially transferred to Uganda Wildlife Authority storage facilities.
More than 8.4 tons of illegal wildlife products have been moved from the Aviation Police custody at Entebbe International Airport to Uganda Wildlife Authority. The consignment includes 6.017 kilograms of ivory, over 2,000 kilograms of pangolin scales, 114 kilograms of rhino horns, among other items, totaling to 8,857.84 kilograms that were seized during joint operations at Entebbe International Airport. This had remained in police storage for over 14 years.
These exhibits have been here in our custody for roughly 10 years.
Police note that no seizures of similar scale have been recorded at the international airport since the canine unit was deployed in 2018. He commended Uganda Wildlife Authority for taking custody due to limited storage space at the airport police unit.
I wish to extend my sincere appreciation to the Director for responding positively to my request to take over these exhibits.
Assistant Commissioner, Law Enforcement and Operations at the Uganda Wildlife Authority, Margaret Kasumba, confirmed that all exhibits were intact. She emphasized that disposal of a contraband will follow Ugandan laws.
Disposal of exhibits is guided by the law. So when we receive the state of these cases from police and court, that's when we can be able to know how to take proper custody in terms of how to keep. Are these still ongoing cases? Are they concluded? What next? How do we dispose? So that will be guided by the cases as they come.
Kasumba reveals that DNA analysis shows that most of the products, including the ivory, originated from West, East and Central Africa, with Uganda used as a transit route. She confirms that Uganda has never lost a rhino to poaching.
On ivory, and it was realized that some of them are not from Uganda. They are all the way from West Africa, from within East Africa and from Central Africa, and a few from Uganda.
Kasumba adds that the surge in seizures started around 2011, hailing the deployment of sniffer dogs in 2016, which has significantly reduced large-scale attempts.
We had confiscated a lot, but even after deployment of dogs in 2016.
Business Pulse, brought to you by
In business tonight, President Yoweri Museveni's wealth creation message is pushing more political leaders into agriculture. Buyaga West MP Dennis Namara is one of them, who is putting 3,000 acres in the Kagadi district into coffee, cocoa, sugarcane and avocado to boost food production and create jobs for youth. Namara is also advising his colleagues in the 12th Parliament, especially first-timers, to skip the expensive cars and mansions and instead invest in commercial farming and use their projects to lift people out of poverty.
For years, poverty has held back households in many parts of Uganda. To change that, President Yoweri Museveni launched nationwide wealth creation drives to help families earn more and move out of poverty. The programs have delivered results, but the president is disappointed that some leaders have failed to lead by example and support the push to raise household incomes. But one of the leaders who have heeded to the wealth creation gospel is the Buyaga West MP Dennis Namara. Namara, who has since 2017 been serving as the East African Legislative Assembly, where he served for 2 terms before defeating outspoken legislator Barnabas Tinka Simile in 2026. While his farming enterprise is flourishing, his mindset change started at his wedding in 2014 when the president gave him a gift of 10 million shillings and asked him to invest.
And instructed me to start a farm such that other people can learn from me. I had no passion for agriculture, to be honest with you. That is something I would never go into. But now I'm a real graduate of Musevenomics.
Namara says since then he has never looked back. He is still buying land and now owns 3,000 acres where he has embarked on coffee farming with plans to expand his coffee plantation from 50 to 500 acres with focus on value addition.
In the coming season of August, we are planting 300 acres of matoke, bananas, so that by March next year, we are able to plant the coffee because coffee requires shade. So when the matoke provide us with the shade.
But this is not just business. On an 11-acre model farm, Namara keeps cows, goats, pigs, cocoa and bananas. It is also a training ground that he uses to train his voters in modern farming practices, provide startups and help them improve their household income.
If someone has 2 acres, which intervention can we have to help that person come out of poverty and earn 10 million? If someone has half an acre, what can we support? All that database is through the Namara Village Savings and Credit Group. Then we support them using government intended and intentionally. We support them using the inputs like coffee. The president has committed to put coffee seedlings.
As avocado production scales up, Namara is now seeking investment to add value to his crop through processing and packaging.
We are going to process, export, but also process avocado oil from this. We are going to produce crude oil. How much can you get from a kilogram from avocado oil or from avocado itself? 1 acre, if you do spacing of 5 by 5, in an acre you can plant 166 trees.
Namara says that farming has given him purpose. He is proving politics and agriculture can grow together. And for him, the real constituency called service starts in the soil.
I really want to appeal to government. Let them continue giving farmers seedlings, even ourselves, so that we're able to plant. Because I was calculating to plant 100 acres of coffee, just seedlings alone, I need more than 100 million to buy seedlings. That's very expensive at an individual level. For us, avocado is worse. A tree is 10,000.
He is advising fellow MPs, especially first-timers, to skip the V8s and mansions for now and invest in commercial farming to lift people out of poverty.
Don't get excited. When you get money, plan a project. Because 5 years are not many. You never know if you come back to parliament or if you're going to lose. So put a project so that when you leave parliament, you don't suffer. Let them put the projects in their villages where they come from so that the other wananchi can be able to learn from them.
Business Pulse, brought to you by
Now, away from business, we move on to sport. The Parliament of Uganda has started the corporate golf tournament in conjunction with Equity Bank, with the inaugural outing happening at Entebbe Golf Club. The move aims at strengthening working relations, connections, and healthy living, led by Captain Dixon Kateshumba. Parliament that lost to Equity Bank fielded 15 golfers, including Rakai District Women Member of Parliament Juliet Chinyamatama, who made her debut on the greens.
It's been the first one. Our objective is to start a corporate league of golf, and we have lined up a couple of corporates to do bilateral competitions, and eventually we launch a very big league. We want to promote the game of golf and link it to tourism.
Golf is one sport that for sure one can easily play up to 90 years of age. So I think as a country we need to think more about golf. We need to develop golf because it accommodates us for longer time than any other sport.
We are happy that today we've had to share this very beautiful course here in Entebbe. Equity has been at the center of the game of golf. And as you know, we've been supporting a lot of the ladies' opens across the country. We've just completed supporting, the Namlonge Ladies Open.
I love walking, so golf, you have to walk. So it's the best sport for me. I was doing athletics, I was running, I was a runner. I damaged my knees, so I couldn't run anymore. But because I love being with myself in me, and you can only get it when you're focusing on either a ball or just walking.
Very much for joining us tonight. Up next is Saturday Night Live. From me and the team, it's good night. Catch you tomorrow.